People in need are even more at risk during these cold winter months. That's why we want to begin our sanctuary program telling you about the wonderful outreach offered by Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago. Andrew Like recently talked with Msgr. Michael Boland about the far-reaching services offered by Catholic Charities.
This is a timely visit when you think about how severe this winter is right now. We've gone through some really bad days, and you think about the people that Catholic Charities serves. They're more at risk in this kind of weather.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we have, many people don't realize, but Catholic Charities picks up the homeless throughout the city of Chicago, 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. And during those cold days, that last Monday, I was out there on our mobile outreach, just talking to, going around trying to help pick up the homeless and all around the city. And yeah, it is very challenging, and it's very life-threatening. If you can't get them out when it's 40 below zero with the wind chill, it's tremendously challenging. And for even people who are in homes or apartments are sometimes substandard, they're not heated well or whatever. So it is a real challenge, for so many different people. The winter just accentuates that sense of, it's very tough.
And you hear a lot about, in this kind of weather, fires from people using, the stove, the oven for heating, or kerosene lanterns and things like that puts their safety at risk in so many ways.
And they don't understand it doesn't, And then the thing is that for many people, the challenge with the windows aren't good, and I mean it's just a whole calamity of things, and which is why I think it was really great that a lot of places were closed. Schools were closed, and trying to keep kids off the streets, and because sometimes just a few minutes outside, you can begin to have frostbite, and it happens so quickly, and sometimes kids or even the homeless in the streets aren't familiar with that loss of feelings and what that could actually mean to them, So it's very challenging.
So with the outreach that Catholic Charities has on just a regular basis in good weather and bad weather, I am very much in appreciation of how Catholic Charities acts on my behalf as a Catholic, as a Chicago Catholic, that the work of this social service organization acts on my behalf, and I think that's the case for all Catholics in this archdiocese.
I think so. I think more Catholics should be proud
of
what the work of the church is. And sometimes we always hear of negative things, but they don't realize how many people are served in our schools, our hospitals, our nursing homes. And then when you look at the ministry of Catholic Charities, not only physically at Catholic Charities, we have 160 locations. We serve over 1.3 million people a year, but we do that in the name of the church. And people, I think when we hear Pope Francis, talk so often about the poor and getting involved, and we're blessed. We have great relationships with parishes. Many parishes help us in, our emergency services, serving our dinners, volunteering in our shelters, volunteering in our food pantries and our clothing rooms. And as the numbers increase, last year we had over 18,000 volunteers, and we could use another 18,000. So I mean, it's not like it's too many, but the fact is that there are many people involved in the mission of charity in the Archdiocese, and I would say the majority of parishes are very involved, whether they're having something for Christmas time to help, get clothes for kids or families for the winter, or toys, and helping seniors. So there is really a wonderful part of how the church, how Catholic Charities does in the name of the church. We live out the corporal works of mercy. We live out Matthew 25, and it is a great privilege. And I think our staff are very passionate about their service to the poor, and are really enjoy the fact when we have volunteers and we're able to expand our services to try to be able to help people.
Yeah. Well, the work is so wonderful, and we thank Catholic Charities and all that you do to act on our behalf as Catholics. I mean, sometimes we, in the pews, the most we do sometimes is, offer some money, and this, knowing that we have such an effective social service agency out there acting on our behalf, doing the work that Jesus would have us do.
Right, and again, Pope Francis constantly talks about encouraging us in our parishes and our communities to get out. And I think one thing that's important is to say we are doing that. We are out in the vineyard. Catholic Charities is. Many of the parishes are with Catholic Charities out in the vineyard and really helping reach out and to care for people. And I would always say that people go to our webpage at catholiccharities.net, and There's a host of ways they can volunteer. You know, parishes having food drives during these very difficult times, trying to keep our food pantries, or just, you know, winter coats, and there's so many people who come in and they don't have any coats or gloves or hats, and we continue to try to collect those things and then give them out as quickly as we get them. But it is very important that I think people can become very much involved, and it doesn't have to be like a, you know, a terrible thing. It can be a lot of fun, and also you are encountering the people who, you know, St. Vincent de Paul always said, when one encounters an individual who is suffering, who is poor, you see the face of Christ. And so in all of his writings, he talks about when he was in the 17th century, being, you know, an older man, the way he would get up every day because he saw Christ. You know, he saw Christ in the Eucharist, but he also saw Christ in the poor, and he taught the Vincentians to follow that example. And so it is something that then becomes a great privilege, because one sees people who are coming in, you see them for who they are, and many of them have challenges and rough edges, when he would always talk about that as well. But more importantly is you're getting a chance to see a different side or different face of Christ, and that really, I think for all of us at Catholic Charities, is really much a model of how we try to serve.
Yes. We think of Catholic Charities, it's, you know, from the Catholic Church, but it's not just for Catholics.
That's right. And, you know, for Catholics, we at Catholic Charities, we witness our faith by what we do. We don't try to convert anyone to provide any services, and everyone who comes to us, you know, they come from all different religious traditions or no tradition, and we never ask the question. So our bottom line is we're there to serve the hungry, the homeless, people who need counseling or whatever, but the important part is that we're there to help them, witness them like Jesus would do.
Yeah. In these tough economic times that we're in right now, are there any particular challenges that we have with Catholic Charities?
Well, yeah, there's, you know, very tough times with when we think about our keeping food in our food pantries. Like I said about clothes, people could donate clothes. I think if people were interested, they could always, you know, financially support Catholic Charities in some way. They could do it right on our webpage. They and their parish, their offices at work, or groups in parishes could have food drives, because obviously trying to keep food in the food pantries is a tremendous challenge. It might be a group that might want to volunteer for one of our supper programs, and we're always looking for volunteers, mentors for our early childhood programs, people to talk to our seniors and our senior residences. So I think if people have a passion for a group of people, or a population they'd like to serve, you know, we have them. We have kids, we have seniors, we have families, we have people in great struggles, we have the homeless, we have the people in shelters, you know. So I think if people find out what their passion is, it would be very exciting, because there's a lot of opportunities at Catholic Charities to help serve. And
they can find all that information on the website.
Yes.
What is the website?
It's www.catholiccharities.net.
And we'll give you that web address one more time. Go to CatholicCharities.net to discover the various ways you can assist Catholic Charities in its outreach to our area's neediest people.